As expected, there were no big-ticket public announcements on the defense and energy sectors after the parleys between India and Russia in New Delhi during the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. On Friday, the joint statement by Putin and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi contained no such grand announcements, but allusions were there to the sensitive domains, while the headlines focused on agreements in the maritime and labor mobility domains. The other areas where notable discussions and agreements took place were in the field of energy, civilian nuclear deal, military relations to a certain extent, food security including fertilizer, polar waterways, and trade in science and technology. The interactions sought to increase free trade between the two nations by developing trade corridors such as the North-South Corridor and strengthening multilateral formats like SCO, G20 and BRICS. There was agreement on Indo-Russian cooperation to resolve international conflicts through a rule-based approach. Two areas of conflict were specially mentioned: the Iran nuclear deal and terrorism. Russian President Vladimir Putin's high-profile visit to India had raised expectations of inking of pacts that would have enhanced the collaboration between India and Russia in the sensitive domains of defense and energy. They would have still taken place, but they remained cloaked under the hidden folds of diplomacy. While the visit remained very strong on optics, a key word used in the joint statement was strategic convergence, which was to underline the fact that Russia's proximity to India remains, despite increasing US pressure on India to side with the US-led West in the ongoing tussle between the rival blocs of the US and the Sino-Russian axis for extending their respective spheres of influence. At the same time, it was a powerful depiction of walking the talk on India's policy of strategic autonomy. The statement read, India-Russia ties have remained resilient in the backdrop of the prevailing complex, challenging, and uncertain geopolitical situation. Both sides have strived to forge a contemporary, balanced, mutually beneficial, sustainable, and long-term partnership. That is a significant statement. A standout pact was that on the maritime sector, with the two sides agreeing to deepen cooperation in building stable and efficient transport corridors, with a focus on expanding logistic links for improving connectivity and also enhancing infrastructure capacity to support the International North-South Transport Corridor, or the INSTC. Also, the Chennai-Vladivostok, the Eastern Maritime Corridor, and the Northern Sea Route. A key facet is the understanding to train specialists for ships operating in the polar waters.